Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Coaching for the Soul. You are joining me for Strengthening Thursday here at Teacup Coffee Republic. We exist to inspire people and help transform lives through the platform of life coaching. If you are joining us for the first time, somebody shared this link to you. We are doing this conversation every Thursday because we believe that you can be strengthened when you understand that there's so much in your soul that need recalibration. Yes? Okay? You can be strengthened if you are experiencing joyfulness in your life. You can be strengthened when you know that your soul is well despite your challenges in life. So tonight, let me just welcome all the people on floor. Yay! We are coming in live from Teacup Coffee Republic, inside Pioneer Center compound along Pioneer Road, corner Brixtons and United Streets, Capitolio, Pasig City. This is the home of professional certified CACC life coaches, and you are welcome to join us every single night except Friday, where we give this place a rest. But every single night from Saturday to Thursday, there are conversations happening on floor. Okay? Everyone welcoming you on the space are professional coaches, and everyone here are nice people. Yay! Where are the nice people in the house? Live po yan, hindi po yan, hindi po yan canned sound. Okay, so I'm doing this 20-week series about science of getting rich. So this is how you're gonna get rich, and probably you're thinking, you're talking about strengthening. Thursday, you're talking about coaching for the soul. What got richness got to do with the soul? There's a lot, okay? One thing I realized, a lot of people trade their souls for money. Yeah. Yes? Yes. A lot of people trade their principles and values for money. Yeah. A lot of people exchanging their relationship because of money. Ouch, right? A lot of people... And when I mean a lot, there's a lot. You can go to the internet and check it out. A lot of people are crashing relationships because of money. Yes! Ang lakas. COM po yun. Okay, i-research po natin saan galing COM. And a lot of people, nagbabago ang pagkatao pag walang pera at may pera. Okay? And a lot of people would say, I'm doing this for a cause. But when they start starving, they start feeling the crunch of without money, they throw the towel. Yes? Yes. Who's connecting? Yeah. Patahimik na po ng patahimik. Okay. So, tonight, I'm excited to share with you the first principle in getting rich. Now, why am I doing the 20-week series? Because oftentimes you can go to the internet and just get the principle or just get the science or get the formula. And how many of you would agree with me, when you get the formula, you don't do the formula? Yes? You probably known a lot of great men and women who are far rich. Some people would say filthy rich, right? You've probably been reading a lot of people talking about how they get their money, their richness, how they're building wealth. Yes? Yes. But have you realized, why aren't you doing their principles? Why are you not imbibing it? Why are you not taking it to heart? Or why are you not able to implement it? And that's what I'm trying to work on this 12 weeks journey. Because it takes time for us to absorb the principles, yeah? It takes us time to appreciate why the principle is the principle. How many of you agrees with that? I mean, it's easy. You get the formula. Like, before I went online, I asked my on-floor guests, what do they think is the secret sauce of getting rich? You talk about mastery. You talk about patience. You talk about discipline. You talk about STC pag-atyaga from Coach Tin De Hoya. Okay? And, okay, that's a special mention from her. Okay? And you talk a lot of things. And you kind of thinking, if you know it, why aren't you implementing it? Okay? And you probably have an idea, okay, if you're watching me live right now, let me know in the chat box, what do you think is the secret sauce of getting rich? What do you think is the secret sauce of getting the money that you need, the provision that you need, or the strategy that you need to get money? You know, sometimes you just need a strategy. Meron ba kayong gano'n yung, alam mo kung alam ko lang paano kunin yung pera na yun eh, mayaman na ako. And a lot of times, we complain about our circumstances. We talk about, kung pinanganak lang akong mayaman, kung may puhunan lang ako, kung may nagbibigay lang sa akin ng opportunities, kung may nagtitiwala lang sa akin. Yes, put some yes in the chat box if you are connecting with me and you are understanding what I'm trying to tell you, if you are connecting with me. By the way, if you're meeting me for the first time, I am Master Coach A. I am a coaching entrepreneur, and since 2017, I'm helping individuals who wants to embark on a journey of becoming a professional certified life coach. In Life Coach Philippines, we do training, coaching, and tribe building. So if you are one person who wants to do what we're doing, okay, and change the space that you occupy through the platform of life coaching, please don't hesitate. Call our able and willing operations manager. Her name is Coach Rizal, 0917-586-1661, or better yet, visit Decaf Coffee Republic. Have fun, like experience how it is to be changed by one single decision. And sometimes that single decision is what? Getting help. Getting help. Asking help. Yeah? The humility to say, I need help. Yeah? That's a single decision you can make. If you are one person right now, you're thinking, you know what? I've done everything I could possibly do. I've tried everything that, you know, I can think of. Give it one more try. One last chance. Okay? Why don't you just give yourself a permission to get help? Visit us. Okay? There's a lot of opportunities in this house. If you're not ready yet to be a life coach, then there's a lot of opportunities that we offer for those of you who wants to be an entrepreneur. And don't reason out, you don't have money. You can start making money even if you don't have money. Yes, yes? People are on the floor, I'm sure you know that. So come over. If you're looking for opportunities, if you're looking for ways to make money, if you're looking for opportunities to increase, advance, scale up, then Decaf Coffee Republic is absolutely a place for you. And every single night, there would be major activities, community nights happening here. And when I say major, it doesn't mean gigantically with all the flashing lights and all. When I say major, sometimes the biggest thing in life comes in tiny package. And it comes with you just saying yes to us. So we hope to see you one of these nights. Okay? So moving on. First principle of getting rich or becoming rich or becoming financially able to support, finance the things that you want to do in your life. Okay, here's the thing. How many of you here have thoughts? Thoughts. Pag-iisip. Iniisip. Hindi po yung trick question. Thoughts. You have thoughts.
Yes.
Right? And I want to challenge you right now. What do you have in mind? What are you thinking? What are you thinking? What are your thoughts tonight? Just right now, what are your thoughts? Next is, how do you feel about your thoughts? Yes? How do you feel about your thoughts right now? Come on now, come on now. Yeah? Yes? Okay. Have you realized right now, when I ask you that question, we are not being mindful of our feelings and where our feelings are coming from. Right? And I'm sure you'll agree with me that your feelings, okay, your feelings leads you to take action. Doing nothing is also an action, by the way. Yeah? Okay, you say, I'm not taking action, I'm not doing anything. That's an action. Doing nothing is an action. Trust me. Sleeping is an action. Yeah? Yeah. And just nodding and doing nothing is also an action. Okay? Just, those are actions. And your action dictates your results. Am I correct? Therefore, first principle, okay, before you go down to the drill and say, I don't want to listen anymore. First principle is this. Everything that you have today, everything, it existed because of a thought. That's a principle. Come on now. Everything that you have today existed because of a thought.
What's your idea?
That's why you're being asked, what's your idea? And how many of you, You're right. How many of you here, you're guilty of this? Okay, hashtag guilty as charged. What's your idea? Wala, bahala ka na. Correct? When you're being asked, what do you think? Okay na yan. Bahala ka na. Come on now. The first principle of getting rich is you understanding and receiving it in your heart that everything you have, you'll have, would exist in thoughts first. And that's where the challenge comes in. Because how can you think about wealth or richness when you're poor or needy? It's just like, how can you think about health and wellness if you're very sick? Come on now. Connecting? How can you think about beauty when everything you see is ugly? How can you think about joy when there's grief? Connecting? That's where the frictions come in. That's where the struggle comes in. Because the first principle talks about everything exists first in your thoughts. Everything must exist first in your thoughts. Humans can think and create things out of a thought. Because out of your thoughts, you feel it, and from your feelings, you take action, or you express it, and then results happens, right? So how many of you, when you don't have money, which is not true, you have money, but not so many, but you say, I have no money. How many of you here have, I remember one of the story of our pastor in the church way back then shared with us. Somebody called him and said, Pastor, I want to take my life. And the reason is because he feels very bad that he only have $1 million in the bank. And the thought process was of the man, 1 million is he's bankrupt. He doesn't have money. Sana lahat na lang may 1 million, okay? How many of you, that's a real story, by the way. Of course, I cannot tell you the name, but that was a story, real story shared to us by our pastor, okay? Somebody, a businessman called him, want to take his own life because he feels that it's the end of the world and nothing is working because he only got $1 million in his bank. Now, thoughts, feelings, actions, result. Humans can think and create things out of thought. So first creation is always the thought. So I want to challenge you right now, what are the thoughts that you are thinking in certain ways that causes you to act in certain ways because you feel in certain ways? Okay? How do you think about you not having enough money to buy things that you want? How do you think about you having to wait for the right person to come? How do you think about you having to wait for the right opportunity in business ideas to bloom? Thoughts, feelings, actions, result. Remember last week we talked about you've got to be able to do things in certain ways. If you were here last week or you've watched the replay, hashtag replay there so you can watch the replay of last week's conversation. When you know what you are creating out of your thoughts, you will be mindful. But how many of you here would say, I'm guilty, I'm not mindful? Yes? Yes? How many of you here not mindful of your thoughts? And you are just allowing your thoughts to consume your emotions, and your emotions dictate your actions, and therefore you get the same results. Everything that we see in the physical reality today appeared first in the thought of the creator. Inventors, innovators, right? Human beings are thinking centers. We think. How many of you would agree with me that even right now you're still thinking?
Correct.
Yeah.
And out of your thoughts right now, out of the way you're thinking right now, that would dictate your feelings, and that would dictate how you would act with this teaching, and that would dictate your results.
Yep.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So, how many of you here have thoughts that to get rich, to get money, to get provision, you have to use your hands and do the labor work.
Yeah.
But what about you being able to create without labor? People buy thoughts and ideas. You don't have to labor. See? If you always think that you have to use your hands, you always have to use your body, you always have to trade your strength, then you will realize that when you're sick, you're in bed, you cannot create money. Yes? But what about golden ideas? Intellectual properties. Yes? Humans can produce things by using thoughts to communicate, to express. And remember, last week we talked about the formless substance. How do the formless things, formless stuff, start having forms? By the thoughts. And when we start feeling excited about it, we start creating and we get results. How many of you here have gotten a lot of great ideas, but you're not excited, you're not joyful, you're not having a positive emotions about it, and therefore you ended up doing nothing? How many of you here, you've been communicating something and therefore it becomes your reality? Wala akong pera, mahirap ang buhay, pinanganak akong mahirap, and you ended up experiencing these things. Okay. So, right now I want to challenge you, okay, with reference to the first principle, here are the things that you need to do. Okay, number 1. At all costs, think about the truth, regardless of appearance. Number 1, think about the truth, regardless of the appearance. So, if you talk about you being sick, what can be your thoughts? Come on now. How can you think about wellness and health if you're sick? What's the truth? Yeah, but what's the truth? What's the truth? Remember, thinking the truth. Because oftentimes we just declare it. But it says, the first principle says it has to come from your thought, not the... That's where the affirmation fails. Because they say that when you continue to affirm it, affirmative state it, it becomes yours, right? No, it's not. It has to be here. So how can you think about health when you're down in bed? You have to think it. Even if you affirm, I'm well, it's not going to happen. Because the principle states it has to come from your thoughts. So how do you come, okay, to think of things that's not the physical form? That's the tricky part here. That's what the whole conversation tonight is about. Okay?
It starts with
How do you think about it?
feeling.
Yeah? From thoughts to feelings to actions to result. So even if you take the action of affirmation, if you're not thinking it and you're not feeling it, it's not gonna happen according to the first principle. That's the secret, actually. You're supposed to be able to think it. So how can you think well when you see in scarcity? How can you, and it says here, thinking the truth. So you cannot think something that's not true. So how can you think about the truth regardless of the appearance? That's where the principle lies. It's tricky. That's why not a lot of people get this. It's really hard to think about well when you don't have it. Okay? That's why they tell you the power of mastermind. Okay? And you have to master your mind so you can create anything. But how can you create anything if it's not there? Like you can't see it. The hardest, you know that according to the science of getting rich, the hardest work, what do you think is the hardest work in the world?
Security guard.
Security? Security guard. What is the hardest work in the world? Put it in the chat box. What is the hardest work in the whole world? Minor. May labor. Carpenter. Kinukontra ka na agad ng brain mo. Ano? Nakita ko, gumanon eh. Ano?
Okay na yan.
Ramdam na ramdam ko, teacher. Teacher. Kadim, no? Oo, nagtuturo. Okay, ready na kayo?
Ready?
Ready? Okay, makinig kayo mabuti. The hardest work in the world is this. To think continuously about the truth, okay, when the current reality shows the opposite.
Yes. Tama
Yun daw ang pinakamahirap na trabaho. Ulitin ko. The hardest work in the world is to think continuously about the truth or what you want, when the current reality, the appearance, shows the opposite. What's this kind of work? Creator. Creators create the reality, the truth, which is not. Yeah? You create a form out of the formless. That's the hardest work. It's contradicting, right? Think about it.
Kasi minsan meron tayong what you seems to believe.
Yes. It requires, okay, why it is the hardest work in the world? It requires a huge amount of labor or power to think about money when you don't have it, to think about health when you don't have it. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of energy to create something from nothing. Think about it. It's kind of weird. It's gonna kind of tough. But the truth is, everything starts with a thought. So to become rich, you need to have the ability to think the things that you want, the things that you don't want, and how these are aligning with your actions. You don't want to be abused, but you are allowing people to abuse you. You don't want scarcity, but you're acting in scarcity. You want faith to arise, but you keep doubting your faith. You want beauty, but you keep speaking ugly words. You want to be clean, but you're allowing toxic things to get into your body and into your mind. You want your wishes to come true, but you say, it's just a dream, it's just a wish. Connecting.
Madaming toros.
Agree? Dito na lang ako titingin, no?
Hashtag tak may bag na tayo.
Connecting, everyone? Okay. What you produce in your mind, you will get. And that's the reason why you're not getting it, because you're actually not producing it in your mind, you are just verbalizing it. But your mind is not believing it. Or sometimes your mind is believing the exact opposite or the lies. Remember that question about health? How can you say and believe? Okay, how can you say that you are well if you're not thinking to be well? How can you think well if you are being sick? It says, think about the truth. And what is the truth about sickness? Sickness is temporary. So you don't say, I'm well. You're not well, you're sick. But you can think of wellness because you know that sickness is temporary. Come on now.
And you can do.
Connecting? So point number 1, okay? That's the hardest work. Okay? What you produce in your mind, you will get. So you needed to cross over that. Point number 2. Your thoughts. Okay? Is the only way, the only space, the only thing that you need to recalibrate, that you need to address if you want to be able to speak well. So, no amount of practice of affirmation, no amount of public speaking, no amount of technicalities will bring you the kind of results that you want. It's only your thoughts. Whether you like it or not, it's still your thoughts. You can eloquently declare, I am rich, I am beautiful, I am all of these things. But if it's not coming from your mind, it's not going to work. kahit i-verbalize mo.
Kahit sumigaw ka ng power.
Hindi daw po.
Kasi pag
That's the first principle. Yeah. You can't.
Pag negative sa mind ko,
Because the first principle states it has to be created in your thoughts, in your mind. Think about it. That's why you realize why other people are getting the fruits and you're not getting the fruits. Okay? You imagine you get into, how many of you been here to a bargain stall or a bargain shop or a sale? And then you realize some people are able to get the best bargain. Have you ever thought of that? Like, paano mo yan nakita? Ba't hindi ko nakita? Because that person, when the person enters the store, have this mind. I have that. I can get it. Nakita niya. See? That's why they say that if you want a red car, and you visualize a red car, all of a sudden you start seeing. Remember the red shirt effect? I talk about the red shirt effect. It's the same principle. So, number 3, you and only you can form things in your thought. You and only you. No one can force it to you. So, you can do it by consistently practicing your faith muscles. Faith muscles. You need faith to do it. You need faith to do it. Okay? You can create what you want if you can continuously and consistently practice and stretch and nurture and strengthen your faith muscle. I'm going to say something from the book and I will read it verbatim and reflect on this. It says, there is no labor from which most people shrink, as they do from that of sustained and consecutive thought. It is the hardest work in the world. This is especially true when the truth is contrary to appearances. There is no labor from which most people shrink, as they do from that of sustained and consecutive thought. Super hirap mag-sustain ng thoughts. How many of you can agree?
yes.
You think about success today, and you don't get to see the success. It's hard to sustain it, right? You think about wealth today. Tomorrow you don't get the wealth. Next week you don't get the wealth.
You tend to throw the towel na parang
Yeah.
walang nangyayari. So, kaya meron kayo sa
From nothing or formless substance, we form the thought. And from the thought, we form our action steps because we can feel. But oftentimes, we take action because we were told, we were trained, we grew up in a culture that action begets success, or actions gets you the result. But the thing here, you've probably seen a lot of people taking all the actions but not getting the results that they want because they don't have the feelings, and their feelings is not from the first principle.
Ito yung mga robots.
How many of you you've worked in your life and all you do is work? Just take action. Do you feel good about your work? Are you happy about your work?
At times. Diba? Aminin nyo.
Naganap ng ako.
Sige, bigyan kita ng chance. ST, go. parang may pag-ano to eh. Three fundamental proposition to getting rich. Okay, I'm gonna share with you 3 fundamentals, and this is not a recommendation. This is actually a creed, and this is how they see it. And those people who've gotten the rich, okay, coming from their thoughts, here's what they say. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which it, in its original state, permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspaces of our human being. There is a thinking stuff. Lahat ng meron ka nakikita ngayon may nag-isip para napakita sa'yo. Diba? Kung walang nag-isip na itong bagay na to ay pwede mong magamit na silya, wala kang silya ngayon. my thinking stuff. Everything was provided by God, yes. Everything was created by God, yes. But there's a thinking stuff that make that thing available to
Ano
us.
ko siya nakikita? Yung tinatawag ng vision.
Vision. Make sense? If you get to a space, it's all open space. And for many people, it's just an open space. But some people will come in and say, this is a stadium. This is a gym. Yeah? This is a picnic group. But some people would just say, this is an open space.
A very good example is when you buy a lot,
What do you see? It's just a lot.
just a lot, but you're looking a vision of what that lot would be, and eventually you build it.
That's how it is. So the richness is in the thought. So what is your thought process? What is your thoughts about money? And one thing I would always tell people is this. I have this thought. Money is something you can create. And money is the easiest problem in the world. To me, that's like that. I mean, if you're from the church, if you've met me before, you know me that. If you tell me, sis, I have a problem, and you tell me it's a problem, the problem is money, I always tell you, yan yung pinakamadaling problema. Pinakamadaling problemang solusyonan ay pera. Ang pinakamahirap ay relasyon. Ako po yun. Hindi po yun nakasulat ata sa Biblia. Ako po yun. Huwag po kayo maghanap sa Bible. Hindi po yun nakasulat.
Sir, thinking stuff? Stuff.
Thinking stuff. S-T-U-F-F. Yeah.
Stuff or stuff.
Okay? Number 2. A thought in this substance produces the thing that is imaged by the thought. A thought in this substance, ano yung substance? Formless. Tama? So, sino dito nagluto ka na? Okay. Nagluto ka na. Okay. And you have a picture of, if you go to the kitchen, think about this. If you go to the kitchen, you have all ingredients available. You have that. And then you get to the kitchen, and your thought process is, everything I need, everything I want to cook is in this kitchen. And then you want to cook pizza. What do you think is gonna be the output of the pizza? Anong itsura ng pizza? What's gonna be the picture of the pizza? If there is no dough, some people would say there's no pizza here. But some people can create pizza out of a bun. Yeah? Think about it. So it's how you form it. You get to the kitchen and say, I can create. Probably not the other people thinking of beautiful pizza, but that person said, I can create pizza now. There's going to be pizza. Yeah. Because what's the picture of that pizza? Picture of that pizza is there's a dough, there's a holder of all the ingredients. Some people would say, oh, there's no tomato sauce here. There's no pizza. But there are pizza out of cream, and they will have pizza. What about people who can create tomato sauce out of the available tomato? There probably ain't any tomato sauce, but the person who knows the picture of tomato becoming a tomato sauce can create a tomato sauce. Think about it. So that's the thing. It's the substance. How you see the substance produces the thing that you imagine. Some people have 100,000, and to them they don't have money to start a business. Some people have only 2,000 and they got all the business up and running. Yes? Yes? Some people would say, I don't have money, but you open their wallet, they have 5,000, and they say, that's not money. What do you call that? Right? Some people say, I don't have money, I don't need money, but yeah, they don't have money, but their money is just a card. They have money. It's just a form of the card. Okay? And some people think that a card is a real money. That's why they spend the card and swipe the card without them realizing that that swiping is an utang unless you're using your own debit card. You get that? So it's your thought in the formless substance that creates your reality. Formless. Think about the formless thing. So, Have you realized that most of the things that have been created comes from a kitchen? So, I want to challenge you, go to your kitchen. Yeah, real. Don't tell me maliit lang yung kitchen namin. Tingnan nyo, narinig ko yun eh. So, kahit maliit lang yung kitchen mo. Okay? Go to your kitchen. Okay, after this talk. Just like, go to your kitchen. What can you create from your kitchen? You can create a lot of things in your kitchen. Not only food. You can create candles there. Yeah? There's a lot of things you can create in your kitchen. And based on, a lot of stories would tell us a lot of things have been created in your kitchen. So I want to challenge you, go to your kitchen. Allow your expression, allow your creativity, allow imaginations to flow. There's so much things you can create out of your kitchen. That's your assignment, by the way. Number 3, a person can form things in his thoughts, and by impressing his thought upon formless substance or formless things, can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. You know what? Sometimes, it's not you physically doing it, but because you are believing it will come. How many of you have realized it becomes available? Diba? Sana may ganito. And then 2 years, 3 years down the line, meron. I could not forget this. When I was in IT, in the year 1998 to 2004, there's one project I was not able to deliver to the president. So this is the online meeting. So we were having online meeting, and there's a camera, and the camera is static. Okay, not voice sensitive. So what would happen is our president would have to sit like this, okay, and have a conversations with everyone in different parts of the Philippines. And he hates me for that because he said, why would you put me in this space? I can't speak. Because the way our president would speak, he would go around the whole boardroom. He said, I want the camera that's voice sensitive, that follows me wherever I go. I said, can't do that. There's no camera like that. He said, I want that. There's none. I will buy. There's none you can buy. There's none. Because the camera that during the time is that. Here's the thing. 3 years down the line, after I quit that work, I was in a business, I was in a work where I am putting a demo of a camera that is voice sensitive and motion sensitive. And I could only remember, boss, you were right. But during the time, not yet. But my mind will tell me, really? Not yet? Or you just didn't get to Israel to look for it. So if my boss is watching now, he would tell me, I told you, there should be that thing.
Pastor, I remember yung sa phone, kasi di ba pandemic, nahirapan kasi ako nakamas, tapos pag-type ka ng ano,
Yes.
dapat hindi ka masyadong kahawak. Tapos nung nag-update sila, okay na siya, with your watch lang, kahit naka-off siya or nakamas siya, kaya na mag-open ng phone mo.
Exactly.
Diba? Amazing. Dati parang mini-wish mo lang na bakit kasi magpa-password pa or bakit kasi Face ID, syempre magtatanggal ka pa rin ng mask.
Yeah. To close, the first principle, the first step, the first thing that you have to seal, the first thing that you have to master, the first thing that you have to acquire, the first thing that you have to make sure you've got is this. The ability to think the way you want to think. The ability to think the way you want to think. Because that's the hardest part. Think about the truth, that you can think exactly the way you want to think. But that's hard. Okay? Ability to think the way you think regardless of the physical appearance. If you want to think about love, even if you see hatred, you can think about love. If you want to think about abundance, even if you see scarcity, you can think about abundance. If you can see pain and you think about joy, you can have it. That's the first principle. It is not about what you say, it's what you think. It's in the mind. It's your form. It's your thoughts. It's your thoughts about the formless things that will give you the feeling, the emotions. And that out of that emotions, out of the feelings, you will take the action of speaking it, giving life to it, therefore it shall become. It is hard. It is hard because you cannot control your thoughts. Yes, but there are brain exercises. And I don't mean hypnotism. I mean you being in control of your mind, you being the ruler, you being the owner, you being responsible. There are many exercises, be it journal, writings. My own take, there is no better way to tame your thoughts than having an accountability partner. Yeah. Than by you being humble, by you being vulnerable, by you being submitted to a process that allows your thoughts to be processed. You know what? I'm 50 now, and probably not even half of my life have I spent thinking intentionally of the things I want to create. At least from the time I started Decaf Coffee Republic, it's been like 7 years since we've started working on this. The principle works. And I strongly believe that the principle will also work for you. There is a way for you to create everything that you want to see. Of course, it should be good. It should be pleasing. It should be approved by God. But there is a way, and it is you strengthening your mind to think what you want to see. By truth, by principle, by heart. You can produce from the formless if you only want to practice. So, questions? Do you agree that the ability to think is the first step toward getting rich? Do you agree that to make money, you must first believe in your mind that it is possible to create money? Do you believe that if we think abundance, it will be the result? That we can see abundance. And if we think poverty, it will produce poverty. Do you agree that thoughts impressed on your mind can manifest in all areas of your life, be it physical, emotional, all of this? If you agree, then again, I will close this by challenging you to create your quotable quotes for tonight. And why do I challenge you to do that? Because now, out of the way you're thinking, you start getting the feeling because you are the one creating it. Help is available. The things that we're talking here, this is my 4th week. I know it's not going to happen overnight. It didn't happen overnight to me, but this is science and it will happen. So trust the process. See us here at Decaf Coffee Republic. Give us a call at 0917-586-1661. Help is available, and we truly encourage you to get your coaching, to get an accountability partner, because change is possible. Transformation is not just an option, but transformation is readily available, but you just have to say yes. Good night, everyone. This is Master Coach A. And everyone, okay, let's do the love bam boom. Let's just share a lot of love right now, okay? So if you're joining us for the first time, we're closing our classes normally with this. Love, bam boom, love bam boom, love bam boom. Stay in love. Create so much love in your brain. Think about love so you see a lot of love in your space. Good night, everyone. Share your fact, my bag moment.